This happened pretty long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years. I can't explain what happened, and I don't really want to find out, but I remember every detail of it as if it was yesterday. Still, to this day, I'm always a little frightened, more or less cautioned whenever my mom calls out my name. Anyways, I was about 13 at the time, home alone as usual. My mom was what you would call a partier, always out with her friends, so she wasn't home often. My brother also, well into his teenage years, was always somewhere else. But one day, about 7 or 8 at night, I was listening to music in my room. I heard someone calling my name, so I turned down the music and listened. I hear my mom say, "Ashley, come here for a second." At first I was a little surprised, mostly because my mom was never home this early, but also because I didn't hear the door open or shut or anything at all. I heard again, "Ashley, hurry, come here quick." Let me explain real quick the outline of my apartment. My room is by the front door, then there's the living room, kitchen, and the patio. Then there's a hallway that leads to my brother's room, bathroom, and finally my mom's room, all the way in the back of the house. That's where she was, I assumed. At the time, I was more annoyed than frightened because at the moment I had no reason to be. So I set my phone aside and started towards my door. Just as I opened it and was about to walk out, my phone started vibrating. I grabbed it and checked the caller ID. My mom was calling. I got a little angry, thinking to myself, she's really that impatient and lazy she has to call me from the other side of the apartment? I answered saying, "What? I'm coming already." Then my mom said, "What are you talking about? I'm just letting you know I'm heading out from my friends. I'll be there in about 30. It took me a few seconds to process the situation, and I simply said, "Okay," and hung up. I started to think maybe it was just my imagination, and I didn't really hear my mom calling my name. I got up to shut the door and turn my music back on when I heard, "Ashley, I said come here now." The voice, which I thought had been my mother's a few minutes before, had lost its warmth and sounded sinister, furious even. My blood turned ice cold and I froze in place listening. I hear the door of her room start to open, so I bolted out of my bedroom, running out the door and slamming it shut. And I ran as fast as I could to the 7-Eleven down the street. I didn't stop running until I got there. I called my mom. She got there in about 15 minutes. I basically started bawling like a baby, telling her what happened, and she called her boyfriend to come over and check out the apartment. The front door was wide open, and my room was trashed, furniture turned over, all of it. I didn't stay home by myself anymore, and pretty soon we moved out of there. Nothing has happened like that since, but I still get a little frightened when my mom calls out my name in the house.